From Dubai, everyone, under the high patronage of His Highness Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum, my dear Chairman, Sir Anthony Ritossa, is very pleased to host the Ritossa Family Office virtual keynote panel number 3. The panel theme of today is Spotlight on Investing in Startups. Before I introduce you to our dear chairman of today, I would like to just say a very big welcome and hello to Mohammed Alali, who is our distinguished Grand Ambassador for the Ritossa Global Family Office Summits. He is also the CEO and advisor to Sheikh Ahmed Al Maktoum International Investments Enterprise UAE.
I think it's time now for the Q&A, and I can see so many questions.
Somebody asked about how global family offices are thinking about moving from traditional asset classes to more digital ones. And is there a system for doing that? Is there a specific approach you would recommend? Yeah, I would walk, as I would for any investment, I'd walk very carefully. And I would either go indirect through venture capital, or I would go, or I would build out a team to go direct. But you have to be very, you have to move very carefully if you're in traditional asset classes. If you're in, the travel business and all of a sudden it's gone to zero, I think you can be. I think you can move a little more quickly, but you don't want to lose your base. So sometimes people just make these crazy decisions for their families, and they move just too quickly and too much. It's usually better to just start making a few decisions and then learn from those decisions. I'm fortunate in that I can lose half my investments.
What the key criteria in terms of investment? How do you know a good one from a bad one? Or do you take the risk and spread the investment and hope for a big winner among many?
I think the Homerun approach is probably what is used by a lot of VCs. For us, we're very early stage, and often when entrepreneurs come to us, they have maybe a validated idea, maybe an MVP, but rarely any traction. So at that point, it's really more the entrepreneur that we base our assessment on rather than the idea itself. But that said, in general, I think, when you are presenting to a VC, I think one thing now that you'll probably see that has changed in general, I think, in the ecosystem, and probably VCs are on the panel are better equipped to speak about this, is that there's a lot more focus now on healthy unit economics. It used to be growth at any cost.
Question to Fiorenzo. Which of all countries do you think will be more open to using cryptocurrency in normal day-to-day transactions? And then this is followed by, what do you think about investment with new line cryptocurrency exchange in the Middle East?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say, we should differentiate between countries that are, I would say, blockchain friendly and countries that are crypto friendly, I always like to take the example of China, which for me, it's an amazing example in the use of blockchain technology. So what we've seen in China is something amazing. So the problem that we had in Europe was that, we started using blockchain on a C2C level, as I told you before. So we got confused and we got many scams. The approach of China was in reality more a governmental approach. So the idea was we try to do it at the government level. We try to test it. Once we have a clear application, once we know how to do it, once we control all the risk, we can implement it to the public. So to answer to the first question, I would say on the blockchain application and what is also Internet of Things application, I think China is definitely in advance. What is about, crypto in general, I would say Switzerland, it's one of the fantastic places to be because obviously we have a clear regulatory path. Switzerland, Liechtenstein are very nice place if you want to set up any crypto related projects.
Then we have a question to all panelists, and that is, very simply, what is your take on ESG principles incorporated in investment funds?
When people use their heart and passion to get something done, then they do it to the best ability. And that's when people don't think about it's because of the money, because of fame or power or whatever. It's you want to do something great and you want to do something that you're proud of. And once you've done that, then the profits and so on will come after that. Now, in the current crisis, we've seen a lot of family, friends, some people have been, they're split up in different parts of the world. But more importantly, we know that, family is the most important, human life is the most important. And once we protect those two things, then, profits will come naturally thereafter. So the sustainability part is very important, where if you're able to maintain, a happy, healthy family life, then you're able to have the next part, which is, your business life or the entrepreneur part of it. So the ESG element is it's ingrained into the business. It's a way of life. So there's no need to, deliberately think about, we have to add ESG into it because of COVID. ESG has always been part of living and always been part of doing business. So from our perspective in our family office, we do the thing where we don't believe it's work. It's just a part of who we are. And that's how we live our lives.
Sultan, the question goes like this. 80 to 90% of the food in the UAE is imported into the country, and a handful of hydroponic farms have evolved in the recent times in the UAE, trying to match up the supply floor of the demand that we have. So the question is, what is the future, in your opinion, of these other ways of growing food supply in the UAE? And what are your thoughts also of Vietnam and the food supplies and the way food supplies are developed in Vietnam?
Talking about UAE, it's actually a nation approach. The nation is taking a very serious approach when it comes to food security. So the nation is supporting initiatives when it comes to having their own food supply within the nation itself. As you see now on COVID, most of the nations, they found problems in food supply due to the fact of the logistics problems, and people who had the proper food security programs, they did not face that problem a lot. So the nation itself is supporting this. The nation supports entrepreneurs who want to invest or to start a project related to food security through the industrial bank, I assume. So it's an approach that the nation is taking, which means that it's a huge space of development even for investors. Why I'm focusing on Vietnam? I'm focusing on Vietnam. Vietnam is the gate of Asia. It's the fastest growing economy in Asia. When it comes to food, it's an agriculture country. I'm looking at Vietnam as a businessman. So if I invest in Vietnam, I have my know-how on the market there. I know what I can do. And I've been doing trading since 2014, especially in food and beverages. Vietnam has a huge potential when it comes to food production and food investments. They are scaling up now. Previously it was farmers, now they're becoming more organizational investments. So that's why I'm investing in Vietnam. Vietnam is a promising country, and I think from my point of view, investing there will create a change in that area.